Hello.
Lizard?
My name's Bruce.
Wayne?
No, the shark from Finding Nemo, dude. Come on.
Bruce?
Yeah.
So you remember Bruce from Finding Nemo, is that what you said?
Yes.
So I don't remember him, but you don't remember Sebastian from Shark's Tale?
I saw Shark's Tale once. I've seen Finding Nemo.
Sebastian, the whale-washing dolphin. Squirt, squirt.
I will squirt on your face.
Ooh, child.
Anyway, this is episode 67, titled Cyber Sea Pirates.
I like the name. I don't know why you wanted to yell at me about it before.
Well, if you like it, give it a 5-star review. If you don't, give it a 5-star review. But also leave a review on there that says, like, I didn't like the title, with a 5-star review.
Nathan's an idiot. Just make sure you leave a 5-star review.
Yeah, just say Nathan's an idiot. That would make my day.
And make my day, too. Just to have somebody tell me I'm an idiot.
I mean, I do every
Why are
day.
you laughing?
I do every day.
Yeah,
So.
but coming from you, it doesn't mean anything.
Wow. Anyway, we talk about the Cyber Sea Pirates, which are a organization of
It's a football team, dude. What the heck?
No, we talk about piracy and our experiences pirating anything from software to porn. So
Way to go.
I'm sure you've done it at some point.
I don't think so. I can honestly think I don't think I've ever tried to, like, I've never downloaded it. Because I feel like that was the one thing I always remember. Like, you download that, you're going to get a virus.
No,
So I
'cause
don't think I
didn't.
ever did.
I didn't. But
Well, that's what I always thought.
back in those days, you either downloaded legitimate pornography or you
I just Google
You-
image search, dude. That's what I used.
yeah, you'd have to do that. Or if you wanted to watch streamed porn online, it'd be like 5 minutes to watch 15 seconds. So hope you're fast.
You gotta wait 15 minutes for 5 seconds.
You gotta go
That's
fast. Dude.
buffering, dude.
That's where Minutemen came from.
Anyways,
You just get yourself ready before it even starts.
pre-game. We
Pre-game
call that fluffing.
fluffing.
I think that's actually what they call it.
I think.
That's what a fluffer is. We're getting way off topic.
I mean, I think you're right. But anyway, I'm Asen,
I'm Nathan.
and this is the Golden with the Boys.
When you hear the word piracy, what's the first word? Like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The Greyjoys.
The Greyjoys?
Well, no, not really.
Dude, they're not pirates, bro.
I mean, technically,
But because they sail on ships?
Jack Sparrow. Is that a better answer?
That's a better answer. Like, is that literally what you think of when you hear piracy? You think of pirates?
Well, maybe not the word piracy because it's not used in that way in any pirate jargon. It's just, when I hear piracy, I definitely think of online illegal downloading.
What is the actual definition for piracy? Like stealing?
Pretty much, yeah. Stealing something that's not yours. I don't know, actually. I know, like, pirates do commit piracy. Obviously, that's why they're called pirates. But as far as the legitimate definition, I'm guessing it has to do something with stealing.
The practice of attacking and robbing ships at sea. That's the literal definition from dictionary.com.
Well,
So it must be something that they've just adapted to, online piracy.
we're attacking the internet and taking from it.
I mean, if you think about it, the internet's kind of like a big sea, and there's ships floating through the internet waves. if you will.
Yeah.
Ships are carrying information from one place to another.
Yeah, that's worse than my cold one with the boys analogy about the cold one that you're taking in when listening to this
I mean, that
podcast.
is pretty bad analogy on your part, but I mean, so obviously we're talking about online piracy because we're not talking about piracy. But what kind of money do you think you're looking at paying if you are convicted of online software piracy or piracy online, whatever, whether it be downloading music, movies, whatever?
I
Like,
mean,
give me your guess for what you're
it
getting charged.
wouldn't really be a guess because I've looked this information up before, or like certain cases, but I mean, people like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
I mean, it can be. Back in the LimeWire days, I've heard of people getting busted for, because back then it took like a day to download one song
Yeah.
with dial up. But I've heard people getting charged like tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars just for several songs. Now,
So the maximum criminal penalty for copyright infringement is a fine up to $250, or excuse me, $250,000, and a jail sentence of up to 5 years. So it carries a pretty hefty punishment.
that's not bad.
$250,000 and 5 years in jail.
I mean,
Now, is it that much because it's like stealing? Like you don't get, you could steal a car, you don't get that kind of a fine. Grand Theft Auto doesn't net that kind of criminal charge,
Well,
I don't think.
you have to. I guess the reason they put it at such a high amount is because they're assuming you're also distributing that, and that maximum 250,000 is probably for someone that is distributing it, or there's evidence.
Like reselling it.
No, not well. That too. That would be even worse if they were actually making money off of it. But someone that's actually distributing it, and if they have evidence of that. So if I downloaded a song and I just kept it to myself and I just listened to it whenever I wanted to on my personal computer, I doubt they would slap me with a $250,000 fine.
Right.
Other than, if I was giving this song to everybody, like all my friends, and I was out on the street like, hey, you want this song? Here's a thumbstick.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right. Well, there's a lady, this is back in, what year was this? I just had it, 2006. Minnesota woman was fined $220,000 for 24 illegally downloaded songs.
Damn. That probably took her like 24 days to download all of them.
Probably. Like, I remember when we had dial-up internet and we were using LimeWire at the time, it literally took hours to download a song in MP3 format. That was like 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
Took forever.
Yeah.
But she was one of the last people to be individually prosecuted in the U.S. for illegally downloaded and file sharing, and she faced a $220,000 bill. They actually offered her a $4,500 settlement to pay for it before she went to court, and I guess she was like, "I'm not paying that. You can't charge me for this." And then ended up going to court, and now she owes $220,000. So
that's what you call a big yikes.
Big oof, dude, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like it even states, it's subtle, but in that article it states file sharing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could technically just mean someone's file sharing with her, but if there was any evidence of her giving that song to anybody else, which, by the way, just for anyone's information out there, every path you take on the internet is documented somewhere.
Oh, yeah. At any time, anybody can look up anything you've ever searched, whether it's on a one of your little hidden browsers. What are they
Yeah,
called?
the incognito
Yeah,
windows,
that's
or
still tracked, dude.
they can still track that even if you delete your history. Your IP address has been there. It's marked.
Yep.
So
It's like
anything that,
DNA.
yeah, like, they can track it down. But um yeah, like, she should have taken the settlement.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
that's really, really dumb, especially if she's file shared it with someone else. Just the potential of what that fine could be. um I mean, that was her fault. And the thing is, like, this $250,000 max fine for a crime like this, and they offer you $4,500 so they can just shove it under the
Dude,
rug.
in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's like so minuscule compared to what they can charge you with.
I'd be like, yeah, let me get my checkbook out right now. Like, let's just get this over with. Well, back then, like, this was probably something that didn't happen, and there probably wasn't a whole lot of,
Right.
news about it or whatever. So she probably honestly didn't know, and was trying to, like, get out of it. Like, oh, you can't do this, and then she gonna learn today.
Right. And I mean, I'm also speaking in 2019 terms. Like, now it seems dumb, but back then I think a lot of people would have done that.
Sure.
They're like, what, 24 downloaded songs and you're gonna $4,500? I'll pay you a few $100. What the hell is
Yeah.
this? I'm taking you to court for that. And then $220,000. I bet she like fainted.
Well, like I said, she was one of the last people to be individually prosecuted in the U.S. for illegal downloading and file sharing. Now I think they go after the internet providers, and they pretty much leave it up to the internet providers to contact you when they see you doing it, and they'll send you like a little notice on your computer like, hey, this is Cox here, you've been torrenting yada yada yada, cease doing this or we're gonna shut down your internet service.
Right. And that's probably a better route. But like, nowadays with the internet speeds we have, like, the amount you can download before they flag you with something like that is insane.
Right. And it's really up to the internet's, the ISP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they could just turn all that information over to the copyright people, and like, you gonna be in big doo doo.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, if they flag you for that, don't keep doing it.
I feel like like my older brother did that. He got the notice, continued doing it, and then they sent him a final notice. And I was like, oh, I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be downloading any more stuff, dude. I don't think they're joking anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a notice before.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Is it an email or what?
I don't remember. I think it's an email. I think it was an email. Yeah. That was just like, hey, there's been a lot of, because you do have a limit to how much you can download in a month. People
Right.
probably don't know that, but it's not unlimited.
Not bandwidth. What's the word I'm looking for?
I mean, it is bandwidth. They give you a certain amount of bandwidth to work
Maybe
with.
that's what it is. They
But-
just charge me more now.
Right. So like, if your internet usage is all normal, and all of a sudden 1 month it just completely spikes,
Mhm.
they're like, okay,
Something happened.
here, and they kind of let you know. And another thing is, I believe that they track certain torrents, certain things.
I feel like
to catch
they
you.
like put up little things to like bait torrent
Almost.
sites.
I think it's more of a like Google ads. Like, if you add Google
Mhm.
ads to a website, it tracks when you click on something. I feel like they have little, I guess, ads, you could call them, little trackers on anyone that they provide service to,
Mhm.
on certain links, where if you click them, they're like, all right, this dude's torrenting this thing right
Bam,
now.
gotcha.
Right. And I know exactly what I downloaded and exactly when they sent that email
Backdoor
to me.
busties too.
No. And now that I like look back on it, I'm like, of course that's something they would track.
What was it?
It was the very first episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
So, and if anyone doesn't know out there, Game of Thrones is the most illegally downloaded show of all
Oh, I'm
time.
sure, dude.
It's 100% the most illegally downloaded show of all time. So of course they would be tracking that.
Right. Yeah.
And it was more of a thing of like, I just wanted to rewatch it, because this was like
Mhm.
maybe in season 4, so this was not too long ago.
Right.
Maybe 5 years ago, but yeah, they sent me that, and then I was like, oh well, guess I'm not watching the rest of Game of Thrones.
You're gonna end up like this guy. Well, this guy wasn't just downloading to watch stuff, but this was over in London. This was actually last year. He was sentenced to 16 months in prison, uh, being found guilty of selling illicit streaming devices preloaded with premium content on it. That makes me think of what Emery King was doing with those little like Amazon Fire Drive things or whatever that he was selling, and they had all that content on there. Like, I feel like you're not allowed to do that.
Oh, hold on, how much does this guy charge?
I don't know what kind of fine he got. But he had to spend 16 months in jail.
Yeah, like this right here is my swag. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, so I know a lot of people that do this.
Like this guy, this guy was making profit off of it. He was taking it, like preloading it with premium content and then reselling it. Within a 3-year period, he made 200,000 euros by selling these little sticks online.
Oh, dude, worth.
His for 16 months in jail. Well, this is a 16-month custodial sentence. What does that even mean? Custodial sentence.
That means he's like the janitor in prison.
Is that what that means?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I'm looking this up.
I mean, a custodian, that's what they do.
Let's see here. Custodial sentence is a judicial sentence imposing a punishment consisting of mandatory custody of the convict, either in prison or in some other closed therapeutic or educational institution, such as a reformatory.
Oh,
dude, he didn't. Like, I knew that's not what it was.
Now it makes complete sense.
I had to look it up because I was like, that can't be what it is. I'm gonna feel like an idiot if custodial.
So it's more of like instead of like a prison, like a maximum security prison, he's probably at like
he's probably at some place hacking for somebody.
Like it's like an educational institution. It's like you're still kind of trapped. You can't go anywhere.
Right. But you're not in jail.
Yeah, you're not
like,
in jail.
Worried about dropping the soap.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that still sucks though. Like, you're on.
Dude, worth. Especially if hold on. Like, I don't know, this guy's fine. So maybe you can look that up. But if this guy like had to pay like 20,000 euros and then he went to jail for 16 months,
I would imagine he probably had to pay it all back. I'm gonna have to look into this and I'll post something about it on social media with the answer. But if he only had to pay $20,000 and then he had to go to an institution, what is 16 months? A year and a half?
Yeah.
And it was like a nice, like a halfway, like it wasn't prison, like gang rape prison, like $200K. It's probably not a bad idea.
Especially if that's all they could catch him for is the 200. He might have gotten more. He has like 600K stashed away somewhere. Jeez. Totally worth, dude.
What got him caught? He was selling them on his own website.
Oh, come on.
Like, that was a bad move. Like, you would never open your own website to sell illegal content.
I mean, people do it all the time. Like, think of just
We're in the wrong business.
Think of just Wow Gold.
Is that the same thing though?
Technically, that's against terms of service.
It's against terms of service, but it's not illegal as in selling copyrighted.
Yeah, probably not. But stuff like that is all over the place. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess if they really wanted to make a big stink about it, they could say it's selling copyrighted stuff, because gold in the game is a copyrighted thing, and they're technically selling it for a profit, and they're not receiving any chunk of it.
Right.
So that's true.
Yeah, but like either way, what I was saying earlier is like I know a lot of people that do stuff like this. It's not for, I don't know anyone that does it for profit, but I wouldn't doubt if some of them do. But there's a lot of people that just, they stash a bunch of stuff on like, servers or external hard drives, and they go up to a friend. They're like, "Hey, you want like 6,000 movies? Like you want your own personal
Right.
Netflix?" And then they have all the access to all that. And if it stays discreet, I mean, I guess no one can really catch you.
Yeah, but it's still illegal.
Well, yeah.
It's not illegal if you don't get caught.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of true too.
True. What do you know about DDoS?
Well, I learned it's not called denial or
Not direct denial.
direct denial of service. It's a distributed denial of service. But I know kind of what a DDoS attack consists of and how it works.
Go ahead and explain it.
All right. Well, a DDoS attack, basically, if you imagine running a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Never worked in a restaurant, but we'll go with that.
Okay, let's do something you'll be familiar with,
All
Nathan.
right, that'll work.
You open up a mechanic shop where you work on cars. All right?
Okay.
All right. So you have your regular customers. They're coming in with their cars. Normal day.
Right.
All of a sudden, you look out the garage of the mechanic shop and you see like 100 cars lined up to come in. And
oh shit!
I mean, in a regular situation, you would close up shop or be like, "Sorry guys, like it's going to be a waiting period," or do what you got to do to get through them, right?
Right.
Well, this is like those 100 cars forcing themselves into the shop, forcing you to close down because there's no other way you can do anything.
They just keep smashing the cars inside the building.
Yeah, they just keep smashing them in. Everyone's just running into each other. Like
it's like Mad Max.
Every inch of the shop is just car at this point. So that's basically what it's doing. It's overloading a system. So if you put it in computer terms, it would be something being overloaded so much that it crashes and it's not able to handle it. So it just completely denies service to anybody accessing whatever it is.
Now, these are phone calls, right? Like they're...
No. It's IP addresses.
Okay.
So it's like someone generating like 300,000 people to log into a website all at once. And that website isn't designed to hold 300,000 people looking at it at once. So usually when a DDoS attack happens, first thing you'll notice is just the site's really laggy. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
There must be a lot of people on it. All of a sudden they add another 300,000 and the site just crashes. It can't handle that many IP addresses viewing it at once.
Right.
So
that makes sense. Well, I mean, in the gaming community anyways, Lizard Squad is a pretty famous organization. I wouldn't really call them hackers. They were more a DDoS squad, if that makes sense.
I mean, that's it's kind of a form of hacking, and they did do that's mostly what they were known for is DDoSing in the gaming world. But I mean, if you've looked up their history, they have done quite a bit of hacking into crime agencies and things like that. So they have done a bit of hacking and gotten information, which is the literal term.
Right. Yeah, I mean, in the gaming community, I remember when this happened, I don't know, I think they DDoSed Blizzard for the release of an expansion, and that's where I knew them from. And then back in 2014-ish,
when did they DDoS the WoW expansion? Which year? Like 2016?
Warlords, I think.
Yeah, 2016.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay, so that sounds right. It was either Warlords or the one before it.
It could have been 2014, but go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways,
finish.
But the main thing I remember is when they knocked out PlayStation Network.
Yes, me too.
And dude, people were furious. And I remember we always were given, we gave me and Xbox people, me personally being an Xbox person, I gave the PlayStation people so much crap. I was like, ha, this is what you get for using a free online gaming. It's so great, isn't it? And then they were down for like 3 days, and then they took Xbox Live down. I was like, oh.
Yeah, just
the piss in my Cheerios, dude.
Yeah, salt in the wounds, man.
Dude, that was like the worst thing in like gaming history when they took down PS Network and Xbox Live. Dude, they literally, everybody thought they were like, oh yeah, you're cool, doing your thing, and then they unanimously made the entire world hate them. within like matter of days.
Yeah, and I mean then they continued to, like you said, Blizzard and all Blizzard games were down for a while. I'm pretty sure they did it to League of Legends at one point as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
they've done it to pretty much every game or company out there, like the big ones.
Like what is the point? Like did they have a like like we're doing this for this reason, or are they
Uh,
just doing it to be dickheads?
I don't know the background of what they do it for. Like I would imagine, like how I'm imagining Lizard Squad is there a bunch of guys that are like, hey, let's take this game down, and they do it for
Right.
fun. But who knows? Maybe they were like someone was paying them behind the scenes, like, hey, I'll pay you $100,000 if you can take this game down because I hate this company.
Wow.
Like an executive or something. That's possible.
Yeah, for sure.
And if that's the case, then I mean, can't blame Lizard Squad much if they're getting paid a
True.
lot of money.
I mean, they also did stuff like you say, crime agency stuff. They in 2014 they took down the UK's National Crime Agency website, and they breached. Well, this would be hacking to me. They breached into CCTV cameras, and they were using that to DDoS companies, like shutting down company servers. I was like, oof.
Right. I mean, just having access to like CCTV cameras where you're able to see inside like a police department,
Mm-hmm.
that's huge.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and then DDoSing several different companies. Like it could be a political statement. I mean, just look at let's use Chick-fil-A for example. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're not a huge online company, but
Right.
let's say he doesn't like that they're closed on Sundays and that they're a religious, Christian organization. Not really a Christian organization, but like they support Christianity
Right.
by closing on Sundays. Let's say he's like, well, I don't like that,
I
and
don't like that.
so that like they start DDoSing them. Now this wouldn't affect Chick-fil-A as much, but let's say it is some internet company where it's based on their online sales,
Like Amazon.
like Amazon. I don't think it's ever been taken down. I think
Dude, their servers are probably too big.
yeah, I mean,
It's probably like a big middle finger whenever you get to it. Like we have way more money than you will ever have. Like eat my butthole.
they send in like 300,000 like IPs and it's like, ha, try 300 billion, bud.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if a company is all based on online sales, that could be really huge and devastating to a company.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure this was the bottom end of the amount of money that these guys got paid, but customers could literally go to these guys, pay them as little as $20, and have them harass someone through a DDoS attack. Like this was big in RBGs and stuff like that. I doubt it was Lizard Squad doing it, but people I'm sure would pay somebody $20 to have you DDoS somebody during like an important match or something.
I'm not aware of how to DDoS. I know how it works, but I don't know where I would begin with something like that.
It's probably
But
it
I've
can't be that hard.
but I've heard it's not that hard. As long as you know someone's IP address, like if I know your personal IP address here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I could figure out how to DDoS your system.
We're gonna have to figure this out. We'll test it on yours first.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
But yeah, I don't know. Don't be a douchebag.
Yeah, it just ruins it for everybody. I
Yeah.
hate hackers or what they call hackers in games. Just makes everything not fun. What is wrong with you?
Douchebags.
I have to cheat.
I just wanna crack that door with that boys, yeah. No more baby mamas, no more kids to watch, cause I got babysitters. Now it's time for licking, come on, give it to me, cause it's my escape. Now it's time to annihilate, let my troubles all die away. I'm on a diet, eh? Please do not try this, cause do not invite it. I'm dripping in go call the Midas. This night I was excited, it got me reignited. I've been waiting so long I can't fight it, but now I'm Mike Tyson inside, I'm on fire. It ain't nothing like a true bro. Brotherhood worth more than a huge blow. We're two hoes, two bags.
All right, Nathan. What's the first thing that you ever pirated in your life?
Oh, dude. I mean, what kind of pirating?
Not real life stealing, you klepto.
Like I think the first thing I ever stole was probably something from my own house. Like
Well,
it's probably,
probably, yeah.
but like
But
the
I'm
first
talking
thing
about like more like, like
pirated, like online pirating.
yeah.
The first thing that I can remember would probably be something from LimeWire. It was either music, a video, or something like that.
Okay, so I remember from as far back as I can remember. Now, I might have tried to pirate something else, but I remember every time I tried to put in a song to LimeWire, it would come up with a few titles of the song, but then it would like have like 16 porn versions.
Yeah, dude. And like I would download one of those and then like give your computer a virus. It was just a virus download.
Yeah. Now, it's a little off topic, but I was introduced to pornography at a very young age.
Terrible.
Because I have two older brothers, and it was just like I was curious, so I looked at their histories and stuff, and I stumbled upon it. So I remember the first things that I actually got on LimeWire was pornography, and I was like 9 years old.
Holy cow! Were you in America by the time you were 9?
Yeah. This was like 2 years in.
So you moved here when you were like 7.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
Did you guys have internet in Bulgaria?
I don't know. That's a good question. Did we?
I have no idea.
I don't remember. We didn't have a computer, so probably not.
I know the World Wide Web didn't come out. Like www didn't exist until I was like in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, maybe.
No. It existed like early 90s. It existed. It's just, it was very rare for someone. It was,
You didn't have it in your home.
I mean, some people did. It was just very rare. Like personal computers at all weren't a thing
That's so crazy.
for a while. But, yeah, in Bulgaria, yeah, we didn't, I remember just playing like a console. We had an Atari and like a Sega Mega Drive too.
Ooh.
Um,
Sega Genesis for you American people.
Yeah, that's the European version. I don't know why they called it that. It was weird. I like it though. It kind of flows.
Sega Mega Drive 2. Like it sounds like a
sounds like
scam.
It sounds like one of those, like you hear in like a TV show.
Yeah.
How they can't like use a copyrighted actual console.
Right.
So they make up something like the Game Sphere 3000. You're just like, what the hell? Get the hell out of here with that bullshit. But no, yeah, when we came to the US, that's when we got our first compact computer. That was our first brand.
Windows 95, dude.
We actually had 98 because we moved in 98. Like the computer we bought had Windows 98 on it.
Crazy. I remember 95.
I mean, I do too, because the first time I got my computer, I had 95 installed on it. So, but no, like I remember playing a lot of, Age of Empires, things like that back then. But as far as LimeWire goes, yeah, the first thing I can remember that I actually downloaded was pornography. So
yeah, I don't remember. I think it was music. Dude, I wasn't computer literate enough back then to do something like that.
I actually know exactly what video was downloaded to.
The name of the video?
No, I don't know the name of the video. I know the porn star that was in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it back from the 70s?
No. She was a 90s porn star. I don't know if she's probably too old now, but
Who was it?
Sylvia Saint.
Sylvia Saint. That doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, that was I remember it was like some like doctor scene, like the whole nurse fetish.
Looks like the dudes have like huge mustaches.
No, it wasn't like 70s porn.
Oh.
No, it wasn't like some like they had bushes growing out of their underwear.
You're just like, need a weed whacker.
It was really cheesy. I mean, as most porn was back then. So.
Oh, I'm sure. It's still cheesy now.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, we can get off the porn subject, but yeah, LimeWire. I remember giving my computer a lot of viruses.
Yeah.
And I did. I mean, I know I did at some point download songs from it.
Dude, it just took forever.
It did. It really did.
Like LimeWire was like one of the original, what they call P2P clients or peer to peer.
Yeah.
And that basically what that allows you to do is you can send files between two different computer users. So LimeWire somebody had uploaded it and you were downloading it directly from their computer. And that's why it took so long. Excuse me. But like I don't know if LimeWire ever changed it to like a BitTorrent or a torrenting type. I don't think so. I feel like they got shut down before this happened, and that's when Frost. Do you remember FrostWire?
Yes. I use it shortly. Yeah.
That is where they went to more of the torrent side, and the difference between peer to peer, which is sending one computer to another, the BitTorrent is. That's where you get into the whole seeding and sharing and all that different kind of garbage, and I get lost.
I mean, do you kind of understand how
seeding works?
Well, like BitTorrent, how all that works?
I think so. So somebody uploads it originally, and then somebody downloads it. And then, so two people own it now. And whenever the third person comes to download it, they download half of it from the first guy and half of it from the second guy, allowing it to download faster. And once they have, 10,000 people with the same download all seeding at the same time, whenever someone clicks on it and downloads, it's pulling a little bit of, the entire thing from all those people and allows it to go faster. That's my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. You basically are splitting the download time by the amount of seeders. And you're also splitting it between the amount of leechers as well, which are the people downloading.
Right.
So, if there's 100 people seeding and
10,000 people leeching,
yeah, it'll still be really, really slow.
Right.
And actually be like it'll be like pending download until you can get in. But if there's 100 people, if you're the only person leeching, if you're the only person downloading, and there's 100 people seeding, you'll basically be getting 1% of the download from every one of those 100 seeders, and you'll be able to download it in the amount of time that it would take for 1% of just from one person.
So it's a better way to steal music.
I mean, yeah, it's a faster way for sure.
Right. So, I mean, that's the difference. Now, how do you feel as far as like punishment goes for that? Because is it more of the person that uploads it, or is it the person that's downloading it? Because by how we just explained torrenting, everybody at that time is basically helping to upload the media.
Well, with torrenting, you're technically okay. So first of all, before I get into that, I do think that the person that should be punished is the person uploading, because it never would have been available in the first place if it wasn't uploaded.
True.
For anyone to download. So if anything, that person should definitely get the lion's share of the blame.
Fair enough.
For anything copyright infringed or anything like that. Now, I do think that the person downloading, if they're downloading it and then they stay in the torrent and keep it seeded for other people, technically they're doing the exact same thing now. So they would split that blame with that person. Now, if you're just downloading, I honestly think that the biggest thing you should ever be charged for downloading without seeding it or helping it be redistributed is exactly kind of what happens now, where your ISP is like, hey buddy, what are you doing?
Right.
And kind of like a slap on the wrist. And of course, multiple times of them catching you, maybe they can axe your service completely from them.
Axe your service. Servex.
I don't have one of those.
Yeah, you're right.
But that was random. So yeah, like they can get rid of your service, and then you won't have that anymore. But that's your own fault because it's continued,
right?
Continued downloading. But You know, I don't know. I think the person uploading should be the one responsible.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me your explanation of it from work earlier, because we were talking about this at work earlier. What was your analogy that I kept interrupting you for like 15 minutes?
Let me think of a better analogy because
Oh, here we go.
it's okay. So it's like you going to um damn. Okay, so let's use TVs.
Okay.
So let's say you go to Walmart
Mm-hmm.
and you buy a TV,
Sure.
and then somehow this TV can be multiplied. Okay,
Okay.
let's say it's like a Spawn TV point that you bought.
Right. I can just spawn as many TVs as I want.
Right, somehow. Anyway, so let's say you bought that and you left it behind the dumpster at work, and you're like, or some hidden spot, and you told me about it. You're like, hey son, there's a spot you can go get a free TV. I go there, I get it, and it's mine now. And then you start telling a bunch of people, but you also don't tell me it's stolen.
Right.
So
See, that's why your analogy to me doesn't work, because you're downloading music off the internet and it's illegal.
that is true. No, I understand that part for sure. But if that person bought it and they uploaded it, you know, they actually bought it.
Right.
So it was
So
bought.
are you saying like the worst, like the punishment you should get, if anything, is say you downloaded 5 CDs worth of music, and they catch you, they take you to court. Should you have to just only pay for the music that you stole, or should they carry a fine with it?
Maybe there should be a fine. It shouldn't be $250,000.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. That's a lot of money for. No, I think it's different if you're making money off of it, but just owning music, it's kind of like. Make
Like,
'em pay
let's
for it.
say, because nowadays on iTunes you can actually buy one song for like 99 cents, and it's not a big
Right.
deal.
Mhm.
But let's say you got caught downloading some song and they actually took you to court. I think what should be is that you have to pay for the song and you have to pay for that album and maybe like a small fine on top of that. So total maybe like a $200 fine for a song.
Mhm.
Tops.
Right.
Now the person that gets caught uploading that to make it available for all these people downloading, they should be able to get stats on that person. And for every person out there that's downloaded that music, I mean, it would be a hefty fine. That's where I think the $250,000 fines are valid, because they could have
Made money off of that.
They either could have made money off of it, they could have redistributed it that many times. And I do feel for the artist that is losing on all that money, potential money,
Right.
that could have been had from people purchasing it instead of illegally downloading it. Now, I do think there's a huge plus side for artists for illegal downloading out there, and that is exposure.
True. I mean, how does that help though? If somebody hears it in your car and they go steal it too, that person's never going to make money off of it. The only way I could see it as a good thing is if people hear the song and then start playing it on YouTube.
Well, see, that's personally what I do, because I don't download music. I mean, it's way too convenient to have Spotify or
Right.
iTunes or something like that these days. So it's not really an issue with music these days anymore. But if I illegally download something that I enjoy, I'll go back and buy it. It's more of like a test period for me. Like,
I do. Honestly, I haven't bought music since high school.
I mean, technically, I'm buying music all the time now because I pay for Spotify monthly.
Right.
So my money is going towards the artist, even though I heard Spotify like really undercuts them and screws them over. But either way, you know, that's a lot of exposure, because there's a lot of people out there that really aren't like trying to steal from anybody, but they also don't want to spend the money, like $17 for a CD
Hell no.
to hear your album. But
When you only want like 2 songs off of it.
Right, when you only want 2 songs. So they torrent it instead. They download all those songs. They listen through it and they decide, not for me. And that's when it kind of sucks cuz like they got to listen to the content without purchasing it, but if they did like it, they'll go purchase it when they didn't, if they didn't have that option in the first place,
Right.
they wouldn't have. So I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts.
I like butts.
Me too.
So there's 5 different types of software piracy. Like, name the ones that you can think of without looking at my screen.
Well, I'm looking at your screen.
Oh, wow. Already ruined it.
Honestly, I didn't know there was 5 main types, so you can
Neither did I.
take me through them.
So the first one is counterfeiting. This type of piracy is the illegal duplication, good Lord, I can't even talk, distribution and or sale of copyrighted material with the intent of imitating the copyrighted content. So basically, I seen this at the flea markets. You ever been to a flea market before?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get there, this guy's selling all these movies. And, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, he's just selling movies, like old movies that he's bought, and he's reselling them. And then you get home, you open up the case, and like you remember how DVDs for videos used to have like the little printed thing on the CD?
Yeah.
It was like off by like a quarter of an inch, and I was like, this is a fake CD.
Yep.
That to me is what counterfeiting would be. They're packaging it, selling it like it's a legitimate copy, and it's just a copy that they burned and bought one of those little label makers for.
Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, and this could be another type of software piracy, but would this be the same if, let's say, there's some small artist out there, like some small musical artist, and I took that song, I downloaded it, and then I re-uploaded it on YouTube as my own song, as if I did it?
That's not counterfeiting. I think that would be,
because I've seen that shit too.
I don't. That would be just copyright infringement, right?
Yeah, I think
like end user piracy.
I mean, if they were making money off of this song, then that would also be piracy as well as copyright infringement.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that would be counterfeiting because well, I don't know. Let's see. It is common to find counterfeit copies of compact discs, blah, 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 as well as related to packaging, manuals, license agreements, labels, registration cards, and security features. So maybe that is a type of counterfeiting.
It probably is.
That's probably what it falls under because you're stealing it and trying to resell it
as your own.
Yeah. But I don't know. Anyways, then you have internet piracy. This occurs when software is downloaded from the internet. The same purchasing rules apply to online software purchases as for those bought in compact disc. Why don't they just say CD? CD format. Common internet piracy techniques are websites that make software available for free download, internet auction sites that offer counterfeit or out-of-channel software, and peer-to-peer networks. So LimeWire, that would be your internet piracy for the main part, downloading music without paying for it.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one of those things where I understand this is illegal, but it's another one of those things where it's like okay, so I make music, and when you try to go out there and get a music software, things that cost hundreds of dollars to actually make music, you go out there and they're like, oh, try our free demo, and then you download the demo and you realize there's all this stuff that's not available to you because it's a demo version, and you're like, well, what the hell? Like, give me at least an amount, like a trial period where I can have the full access of the software,
right?
So I can see if I want to buy it, because this is BS. So I mean, when I first started making music, like,
did you steal software?
I downloaded, like, I legally downloaded the actual software to try it out, the full thing, and then I did buy it. I mean, I have the software.
How many softwares have you downloaded and then not bought?
Don't
answer that.
Well, hold on, because I don't think it's any. I don't think it's
really?
Any that. I really don't. Anything that you'd actually have to pay for, like, everything has gone free at this point. I think the only one maybe that you had to pay for that I got for free was like AVG back in the day, the antivirus.
Oh yeah.
I think that might have been free as well though, so I'm not sure. But anything else, yeah, I've gotten either the free version or I've bought.
Right. Oh, here you go. I think this is probably what is the thing you asked about first, uploading music. End user piracy. This occurs when an individual reproduces copies. This is obviously software, but I feel like this would be the same thing for music. This occurs when an individual reproduces copies of software without authorization. So, replace software with music. This occurs when an individual reproduces a copy of a song without authorization. So, using their music and selling it as their own, I feel like would be something.
Probably, yeah, this is probably
similar.
where it would fall under as end user.
So, using one licensed copy to install a program on multiple computers.
You're going to jail.
Yeah, I'm going to jail for sure. Copying discs for installation or distribution. I've done that. Taking advantage of upgrade offers without having a legal copy of the version to be upgraded. Windows 10 tricked me into doing that. Because I think I had a cracked version of Windows 7, and then I upgraded to Windows 10. They're gonna knock on my door tomorrow and take me to jail.
Probably.
But yeah, like I did that, and that's a big no-no apparently. Acquiring academic or other restricted or non-retail software without a proper license. So what is that? Using like college programs?
Or read that one again.
Acquiring academic or other restricted or non-retail software without a proper license.
Yeah, that would probably be like a software that you use for class like AutoCAD, or for work, or like, I mean, I remember when I did animation, like the software we used was Autodesk Maya, and that's like a $5,000 software.
Right.
So like pirating that would be really bad for you.
Well, I mean, like AutoCAD, not AutoCAD, excuse me, Esprit, what we use in the workplace to program CNC machines. I want to say one of the licenses is like astronomical. It was like $35,000 a year.
I think that's more of like a business license for your business to use it though. If it's personal use,
it's a single seat cost that much. It's crazy.
Jesus.
And yeah, so I've seen that used in the workplace where they bought one license and put it on multiple computers because it's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what kind of fine that carries if you do that, but excuse me, like
our place of business does not do this.
No, they don't. I have my own separate license for Adobe Pro. Like everybody's computer has its own license for that. So, but yeah, swapping discs in or outside the workplace. I don't know. Here, let me trade you my Windows 7 CD key for your Windows 8.
That was too much.
But there wasn't a Windows 8. Yeah, there was.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, there was. It was just terrible. Nobody used it.
Yep.
We skipped 9 and went to 10, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, client-server overuse. This type of piracy occurs when too many users on a network are using a central copy of a program at the same time. If you have a local area network and install programs on the server for several people to use, you have to be sure your license entitles you to do so. If you have more users than allowed by the license, that's overuse. So say, like you're saying, T-Mobile has little like cells of computers.
Yeah.
And they may need, only one license to feed 15 computers. That might be part of the license agreement. You can have this on 15 computers, but if they have a 16th computer on that one license, that's a no-no.
Yeah. And I'm sure big companies like that do get like audited for shit like this.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I'm sure that whatever they're doing is legal.
That's why whenever they come in for the audits, they're like, "Oh, these computers are all down. We can't get them to turn on today."
Yeah, these have been out of order for like maybe
months.
maybe 2 years. And one of the new guys is like, "I just used that computer yesterday."
Fred. What the fuck? What happened? They're like,
and then your boss is like, Giving you the death eyes.
Feel like you're fired. And then the last one is hard disk loading. This occurs when a business sells new computers with illegal copies of software loaded onto the hard disks to make the purchase of the machines more attractive. I've personally never seen this.
I haven't either, but I can definitely see it. Like, you wouldn't see it at like Best Buy, but if you were buying a computer from some like hole in the wall computer shop, they probably do shit like this
all the time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And you'll never know until like it, for some reason you have to like restart your computer, and it's like enter your Windows product key, and you're like, what? And then you like,
I didn't get a product
I
key.
didn't get one. Oof, man.
Well, it's really easy to fix that, because if that happens, I mean, you can get Windows 10 now really cheap,
Well, yeah.
or like a activation key from Microsoft. They've made that really cheap over the years, but I know
It used to be.
when operating systems were really like, Windows 98, Windows XP, those were really expensive.
Yep. I remember that. The first computer I ever built, I bought everything but a copy of Windows, and I used a cracked version. Because it was an additional like $199 for the operating system.
Dude.
I was like, this is baloney.
I'm calling the cops right now.
Do it. You won't.
I don't want to bet.
Yeah, I'll give them your computer over here that's still got a cracked Windows copy version in it.
I'm pretty sure that computer is like dead.
I think I threw it away, honestly.
Oh, so now you have nothing against me.
I like this one back here says. But yeah, I don't know. I think personally, as long as you're not stealing it and then reselling something, I don't think it's that big a deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's there, like copyright laws and things like that. I understand why copyrights are there. I think with copyrighted material, there should be a fine, obviously, for the copyright itself. But unless you're reselling it, redistributing it, I don't think it should be much, if anything.
Now, before we get off, torrenting is not illegal. You can torrent as much as you want, as long as it's not copyrighted content.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's there. That's why
the Pirate Bay.
Yeah, that's why it's around. And obviously you can see a lot of illegal things on there as well that you're able to download. But that's why, if you've ever paid attention to the Pirate Bay over the past 10 years, that's why it's changed its country every few years. I think they change where their headquarters are every few years.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's going after him.
Yeah. And I mean...
move to Russia, nobody's going to get you.
That's not true.
Russian collusion.
Hello,
NSA.
No, there's just countries that are behind on the whole cybercrime thing. So they either don't charge you anything, or they don't have any cybercrime laws. So it's like completely open season to do stuff like that without getting caught or have a fine against you. So.
Would WikiLeaks be piracy? No, that's just
information.
Network leaking.
That's more of like, because the information WikiLeaks had was sensitive information. They didn't hack. I don't think they hacked for it, but it's like you telling me a secret and me putting it into this database over here and then using it later.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna WikiLeak you.
Okay. Hey guys, thanks for listening. We're signing off. I'm Asen, and I'm always right.
I'm Nathan.
See you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Hey you. Yes, you. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and even if you didn't, we would love to hear your feedback, which can be sent to coldonepodcast@gmail.com or leave us a review on iTunes. It helps us gauge how we can make this podcast better for your enjoyment. If you would like to contact us, you can do that through our email or follow us on social media, which is @Cold1Podcast for Twitter and Facebook. We are now on Spotify, as well as most podcast apps in existence,
But if you prefer to listen to it online, head on over to our website, actionsperminute.net, for the latest episodes, a link to the APM Network Discord, or to check out any of our APM sponsored streamers. And lastly, if you like what we do, tell your friends and spread the good word. Thank you again, and remember, don't drink and drive.